pound for pound, hermano for hermano, talent for talent. It was France versus Spain in the semi-final of the 2026 World Cup. Didier Deschamps had taken the same test 3 times and came short in all 3. France were looking to book their place in the second successive FIFA World Cup finals, but they got their clocks cleaned, and it was Spain who walked away the victors heading into the finals. Kylian Mbappe has now come up against Lamine Yamal 11 times, only winning 2 and losing 9 out of those 11. In this video, I'm going to go into the game that happened between France and Spain in the semi-finals, which saw Spain advance to the finals of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, winning 2-0 on the day. My name is Eben. The channel once again is Beyond the 90 channel. Let's go. So, France and Spain faced off in the semi-finals, the first semi-finals of this 2026 FIFA World Cup, and it didn't go well for France. They didn't lay a glove on Spain. They were nowhere near it in the levels. Like, Spain bossed this game all the way through. Now, before I get into the game proper, I would like to start with Didier Deschamps. In fact, in this video, I'm just going to talk about personalities. So I'll go with Didier Deschamps first. Now, the French manager has done a good job in charge. I mean, he's won a World Cup. He lost the World Cup as well to Argentina, which is like going to 2 World Cups back to back. He lost the Euros finals as well to Portugal, and he's not won the previous Euros as well, losing to Spain in the semis. Now, coming into this game, France was the favorite according to the eye test and so many people who had watched the games, and so France was supposed to beat Spain and just make a casual return to the final. Now, in my own view of France in this World Cup, I always said that if France came against a team that had something about them in the midfield, this French team is going to struggle. It's all well and good having the front four pressing high up and winning balls and scoring goals for fun in the group stage. That was their vulnerability for me. And so, personally, coming into this game, I wasn't surprised with what happened. I guess I'm surprised at the way it happened. Now, Didier Deschamps has served his due and is moving on. And I know France is lining up Zinedine Zidane to take on after him. I think France, I don't think that will happen, but their best bet right now is to rescind that Zidane decision. And if they want to break free from the bondage they currently face with Spain, if they want to break off those shackles, their man is Luis Enrique, not Zinedine Zidane. Whatever it takes, call Zidane on the phone, apologize to him, and then go get Luis Enrique. Because yes, Zidane can do a job because they have a team, they have good players, but Zidane is essentially another Deschamps. Hear me out. Now, Zidane is a legend, no doubt about that. He's won the treble, the Champions League 3 times with Real Madrid. That's also is another cap in his feather. And he's an excellent manager. But when it comes to the tactical side of things, he's not one of the best out there. And what this French team need in crucial moments, he's not going to give it to them. Luis Enrique is the man for them. My reason for opting for Luis Enrique, of course, they won't come up against Argentina every time, against Spain every time. But in the odd chance that they come up against a team that plays the ball like Spain, they are going to struggle. Zidane is not going to set them out to go out there and dominate. They are going to sit back and wait for moments and transitions and wait for their time, and they will never get it. if they want to break free of the oppression Spain is putting them in, their man is Luis Enrique. Now let's move into the game and other parts and other people I want to talk about. So, where do I start? Well, I want to talk about La Pausa. La Pausa is a Spanish word which means the pause. In football terms, it's a principle that is imbibed in Spanish players growing up. Now, the point of La Pausa is to pause, not merely pausing, but as you are receiving the ball as a player, you need to slow down, think about your next move, think about the space you are in, what turn or what pass would make space for you or open the space. Now, the other intention of this La Pausa or this principle is to lure your opponent into thinking that you are stuck or they have you cornered, when the whole idea is to outmaneuver your opponent. So that split second of slow movement or pausing is not a weakness, it's actually a strength. And that is what the Spanish national team used against France today. Now, typically in this World Cup, the French four fantastic up front, Mbappe, Dembele, Olise, either Barcola or Doué, they pounce high up, win the ball quickly, quick transition, and they score and they punish you. And they all have individual brilliance. They can take their man on, they have an eye for goal. And so they came into this game with Spain, trying to force Spain high up, trying to force them into making quick decisions, trying to force an error out of them, and they play right into the hands of Spain because, you know, all the 10 outfield players that lined up for Spain today can pass the ball. They can take the ball under pressure and make the right decision. And so when the game started in the first 15 minutes, it looked like France were on top and stuff, and Spain were just weathering the storm. And after they weathered the storm, after the 15 minutes, La Pausa set in. They started moving the ball. Now, the thing that is different about this Spanish team is that even though they still have the tiki-taka underpinning, they are also a vertical team at the same time. So as much as they pass the ball horizontally and sideways, the point of moving the ball sideways is to allow for rotations so that the free man can receive the ball and then go vertical or go diagonal. That's the whole point. So any pass they make is intentional, whether it's to the side or it's to the back. It's to go to the side so that they can go in front, or if it goes back, it's to go back so that they can go in front. And so when this French fantastic four attackers kept putting pressure on them, or they kept trying to hurry them into making a decision, they only played right into the hands of Spain. The Spanish defenders, as calm as cucumber, took the ball, moved the ball well, and not a single time did this French press work. It didn't work. Now, the sad thing about the French press was that anytime they rushed or they hurried the Spanish players and it didn't work, they just stopped running. And the Spanish players just kept on playing the ball, kept on moving the ball, kept on playing the ball, kept on moving the ball. And, you know, it's essentially a case of not really death by 1,000 passes, but submission by 1,000 passes. You know, they completely whitewashed this French team. And it doesn't help that you have a midfield too of Adrien Rabiot and Tchouameni. Tchouameni is not particularly credible with the ball at his feet passing. Adrien Rabiot also came up against a bigger dog, if you may, or he came up against someone better than him, or a midfielder that was just better than him. So when you put these two together, combined with the front four whose press weren't working, you had a disjointed six, because the two in the middle didn't know whether to join the four men up front to press or to sit. In any case, they didn't have the ball, so that was confusing for them as well. And so the Spanish just cut them to slices, passed the ball through them, passed the ball around them, passed the ball over the top. And what was even striking about today's performance was that at times Spain went back to Unai Simon, their goalkeeper, and then he went long. And those long balls still ended up with a Spanish player. Even if they didn't get the first ball, they were first to winning the second balls. Now, I don't know which player to say impressed me the most among the Spanish players, but I guess I'll give it to the fullbacks, Cucurella and Pedro Porro. In fact, I'll give it to Porro. Now, the rest of the Spanish players have shown in previous games that they have what it takes. They've proven their mettle. Pedro Porro was the only one who had not done it yet for the national team. And so to come up against Dembele and Mbappe and Bacola and Doué when he came up, and to keep them completely quiet, considering that he was playing right behind Lamine Yamal, who didn't really help with defense a lot. I mean, he did a bit here and there, but not so much. And the game wasn't decided by his mistakes, but rather his brilliance up front. I think for me, he was my man of the match. Of course, the midfield general himself in Rodri did his thing, showed his difference, showed his class, showed that Ballon d'Or he won a couple of seasons ago, which still has tongues wagging, wasn't a fluke, and he really deserved it. And he has arrived at the pinnacle of top midfielders, and he's sincerely put his name in contention for one of the best midfielders we've seen, at least of this generation. Lamine Yamal didn't really have his game, but he wasn't bad. He was good in flashes, and in those flashes, he was really good. And one of the things I don't get is how the French team let Lamine Yamal get away with all the talk he did before the game. Like, they just let him get away. At this point, I feel like if France does not take care, anytime they come up against Spain again, at least in the men's national side, psychologically, they are going to feel inferior to this Spanish team for a very long time, which is why I think Luis Enrique is the man. He has the mentality, but he certainly has the game. He has the game plan. His in-game tweaks and management is one of the best out there. And so if France could, with the amount of talent they have on hand, I think Luis Enrique will transform them into something we've never seen before. They just need a manager that would get the right balance for them. I think they are not really balanced well. Now, a lot of people are pointing fingers at Lucas Digne as being the reason why they lost the game. I don't think you can point fingers at Lucas Digne, even though he gave up the first pen. I just think overall, none of the French players, maybe Bradley Barcola in the first half, closing down spaces and preventing the Spain from hurting them a lot. But him aside, no one really stood out. Like, there were so many giveaways from the goalkeeper of the French national team. They just didn't get punished. And so to single out Lucas Digne is not really fair. I don't think he did anything spectacularly wrong today. It was just a bad game overall for the French national team. And so I would not go as far as saying he's the reason why they lost. On paper, Pedro Porro is not an excellent defender as well, but the system for the Spanish national team functioned, which is why any player who was plugged in worked. In the same vein, if the French system was working very well, I don't think Lucas Digne would have been singled out. Rather, the team would have set the platform to allow him go and use his best strengths to help the team. What essentially happened today was that the Spanish team reduced their mistakes, or they covered all their blind spots and blind sides, and capitalized on their strength. And the French, on the other hand, got exposed with regards to their mistakes. Kudos to Kubasi, for a kid of his age at 19 years to play the game he played against France. He didn't put a foot wrong. It looks like Kubasi needs an older head near him, because for Barcelona, when he played with Inigo Martinez as well, he put up this sort of performances. And now with Aymeric Laporte, who is also an older head, he's bringing out the best in Kubasi, and kudos to him. Some of the passes he was dishing out today, and some of his touches on the ball, and how he didn't get wrong-footed once. Same with his compatriot in Aymeric Laporte. Kudos to them. Unai Simon, I probably owe him an apology. I've not lambasted him or chastised him in any of my videos, but in my head, I really don't see why he starts for the Spanish national team. But today, he earned his spot completely, and whatever he does from here on, he earns my respect. In the past, I've seen him as a very erratic goalkeeper, sort of like what the English goalkeeper is, very hot-headed and rushes into making decisions. Today, every rash decision he made was the right decision. Coming up to sweep and clean, not a mistake even once. And so, kudos to him. Oyarzabal, he's not the flashiest of strikers, but he understands the principles of La Pausa. As a striker, he's able to drop into the middle, receive a ball, rotates the ball, and then move into space. And that guy never stops running. He's a workhorse when it comes to pressing. And Dani Olmo, he had some really delightful touches today. Most certainly, the touch he made into Porro for the second goal. He's a brilliant player. He's one of those players who can pull a rabbit out of the hat, football-wise. Like, in tight spaces, Dani Olmo is your guy. He knows how to turn out of trouble, to turn into space. He knows what to do with the ball and how to protect the ball. Now, this Spanish side has not arrived yet. They are still a work in process. So it's scary what they could become when everybody comes back. Because Lamine Yamal is not fully fit. Even Rodri is not fully fit. He has a surgery lined up after this World Cup. Nico Williams is not fully fit. Now, the direct replacement for Nico Williams is a kid on the bench called Victor Munoz. But their coach in Luis de la Fuente opted for control, and so he went for Baena, someone who understands the space and can keep the ball rolling and moving. And so this Spanish team still has a notch to go upper. They still have gears they can move into. It remains to be seen who they will play in the final. It doesn't matter at this point. Whoever comes up against them, they are going to have their work cut out. I'm not going to be surprised if Spain wins the World Cup, because the job they did on France today, it's actually looking like Cape Verde did a very good job, because Cape Verde is the only team in this World Cup to prevent Spain from scoring. Looking at the results against France, you can say Spain has grown into the World Cup, but you have to go back and give Cape Verde their flowers, because they knew what it took and they set up perfectly to frustrate the Spanish game plan. Is it going to be Argentina or is it going to be England? We wait to see who faces on or who faces up with the Spanish national team in the final. Until that happens, the Spanish are going to wait. They are going to be ready for whoever comes up against them. My money is going to be on them for now. I guess I'll wait and see how the game between England and Argentina plays out. But currently, my money is on Spain. Let me know what you think in the comment. What did you make of the game? Were you disappointed in France, or you were more impressed in Spain? Be that as it may, you can leave your comment in the comment section. Like the video, share. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I really appreciate your time for viewing this and for supporting the channel. Channel once again is Beyond the 90 channel, and my name is Eben. Bye.